Hi, this is Claire. You're watching Books and Questions, and today I'm doing a video on self-aware picture books. Picture books where they know that they're a book, or where they know that a reader is reading them, or where in some way it's connected, where the book is actively engaging with the reader as it's being read. The first one I want to mention is the monster at the end of this book. This is a Sesame Street story in which Grover, the monster, realizes that the title of the book is The Monster at the end of this book, and he is frightened of monsters. Shh. Listen, I have an idea. If you do not turn any pages, we will never get to the end of this book. That is good, because there is a monster at the end of this book. So please do not turn the page. You turned the page! Another book that gives you instructions as the reader what to do or what not to do in the case of Grover is Press Here. Gives you instructions of what to do. Press here and turn the page. And then magical things will happen if you do it. Press the yellow dot again. Okay. Oh no. And as you go, clap or bend the book or lean it to one side or another or blow at it. Different things happen. And one of the things that's a joy about this book is the magic of reading sort of demands the adult be there to make sure you're pressing the right circle, or the magic of the turning page doesn't work out. Another book which I feel like belongs in this category is The Stinky Cheeseman and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. This is a book that gets included in all the lists that have to do with postmodern picture books, or books that know their books or break all the rules because it's self-conscious on every bit. Like the end paper, the little red hen is already jumping in. Wait a minute, hold everything. You can't tell your story here. This is the end paper. The book hasn't even started yet. The title page says title page and not Stinky Cheeseman. And they do have a moment where they do directly address the reader. It's in the introduction, talking about how these stories in this book are not fairy tales, they are fairly stupid tales. In fact, you should definitely go read the stories now, because the rest of this introduction just kind of goes on and on. It doesn't really say anything. I stuck it on to the end here so it would fill up the page and make it look like I really knew what I was talking about. So stop now. I mean it. Quit reading. Turn the page. If you read this last sentence, it won't tell you anything. These next two books are books where they're keenly aware of the reader reading them out loud. We are in a book which is a Elephant and Piggy book by Mo Willems. This is meant to be an early reader, so someone reads this as they are learning to read. This one has a moment of discovery. Piggy! Yes, Gerald? I think someone is looking at us. Piggy comes close to check. Someone is looking at us. Who is looking at us? A monster? No, it is a reader. A reader is reading us. They play with the fact that they're being read, and they're greatly distressed to find out that books end. The last spread is this charming little moment where they ask, "Hello, will you please read us again?" And then if you go back to the beginning, there's this joke for the rereader where Piggy winks and says, "Thank you." I just love it. It's so great. In a similar vein is B.J. Novak's The Book with No Pictures. So for this one, it's not an easy reader. It's meant to be on par with picture books, although this one has no pictures, and is definitely arranged so that there's a dialogue between the book, the reader, and the child who the adult reader is reading to. It starts out looking like it's going to be a very boring book. There are no pictures. It might not seem any fun. And then there's this moment, here is how books work. Everything that words say, the person reading the book has to say, no matter what. So it ends up getting sillier and sillier. The reader has to say, "I am a robot monkey. Now it's time for me to sing you my favorite song." A song? Do I really have to sing a glug, glug, glug? My face is a bug. I eat ants for breakfast right off the rug. What? This book is ridiculous. Can I stop reading it? No? There are more pages? I have to read the rest? It is very, very silly and definitely draws attention to the experience of reading with a parent. Another book, which is about the experience of reading stories and what the characters in the story might have to say about themselves being read or being in a story that they don't want to be in, is David Wiesner's The Three Pigs. In this story, the three pigs are going along like a normal book when the wolf huffs and puffs and blows the pig right out of the story. You can see suddenly the pig is in a different illustrating style. Instead of being the dark outlines, it's much more detailed. And so the pigs jump out of their book and go off to find other books. There's a moment in it where the pig realizes that there's someone outside of this whole book itself notices it, and there's a couple more pages. It's like, wait, what is that? I think someone's out there. And by the end of the story, they've picked up characters from Hey Diddle Diddle and from A Story About a Dragon, and gotten rid of the wolf and chosen their own story where they all live happily ever after together. And it reminds me, that peering out of the book at the reader, of sort of some more gentle interpretations of this. It was one in Max's Words, which is not generally a story that does the same thing. But in it, there are these characters who are looking at the reader. And there's one here as well. And this one, like the Three Pigs and a section of the Stinky Cheeseman where the giant decides he wants to make his own story where he's not tricked, they have people making their own stories out of words. Stories are something that you're actively engaged with and something that you can make your own. And I also like that some of the earlier books, the ones with the press here or don't turn this page, they sort of make explicit some of the things, the tropes that are current in picture books of all varieties. Like even The Snowy Day, which is a pretty like straightforward run-of-the-mill picture book, there are moments where the drama is built with the turn of the page. He drags his feet slowly to make tracks, and then he finds something sticking out of the snow to make a new track. Like, you don't find out what that is until you turn the page, so there's a like moment of interaction between the reader and the child. Like, what is it? It was a stick. The answer is after the page turn, after the like physical act of moving, and I think that's really wonderful. So those are my books. I'd love to hear about your favorite postmodern, break the fourth wall picture books, books that know their books. Tell me all about them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.